Hi students, today we are going to study a topic on capacitors. So before we start with capacitors, let us analyze that what are the topics we are going to study in different parts. So now in the first part, this is the capacitors. Here we introduce ourselves with what is capacitors, like how is it, its basic construction, its principle involved, and the different properties it has. So now we'll just derive the concept related to its principle and the various graphical concepts relevant to it. So now coming to the topic, let us enter into the topic. So coming to the topic, we are going to study about the capacitors. So now what is a capacitor basically? See on the screen, children, you can see the capacitors which are available in market. So you can see that capacitors, how they are appearing like. So these capacitors are devices which are used in electrical equipment, electronic equipment. So they are generally, in some terminology in engineering, it is called as a passive element. But actually what is a capacitor? A capacitor is a device which has its ability to store electrical energy. It can store some electrical energy. In which form? In the form of electric field, or it is also able to store the electrical charges. So this is about a general definition about a capacitor. So we store charge, or we store electrical energy in the form of electric field, that is called as a capacitor. But before moving on, a capacitor is also known as a condenser. The other name for it is condenser. So now to start off with, so let us go with the basic idea of a capacitor. So now when we speak about a capacitor, what actually a capacitor is made up of? What actually a capacitor is made up of? So we have two conductors. So it is a combination of two conductors. So irregularly, I am just showing two conductors. So this is a conductor 1 and this is a conductor 2. And it is separated by some dielectric material, in insulating material. So this is a conductor and the other one is also a conductor. So between these, there is a dielectric material which is present in between them. So now let us suppose we take the charge present on the conductor. So initially the only one conductor will be charged, and by the process we observe that another body is also made as a conductor. So here we have a positive charge and here we have a negative charge. And here when I take a positive charge, we know that the general properties of a charge or a conductor. So let us analyze ourselves with the properties of a conductor. So whenever I take a conductor and with a hollow one, always the charge resides only on the outer surface of the body. So inside, like cavity if I take, hollow we take, inside the electric field is taken as zero, because charge resides only on the outer surface of a body, because mass is present only at the surface. Next, second one is when you are considering a conductor. So this helps in, actually its application is in electrostatic shielding. In many cases of electrostatic shielding, we use this property. Apart from that, the potential which is present at the surface, so this is at the surface, the potential, if it is taken as V surface, the same potential exists throughout the cavity. That is the second property we have to remember here. So the electric field here is the electric field at the surface, the charge resides only on the surface. So the electric field inside a hollow conductor or a conductor which is called as a cavity, the electric field inside is zero, and whatever the potential is existing at the surface, the same potential exists inside also. So these are some of the important, and the electric field which is present on any plate. So depending on Gauss law, we have to analyze and calculate the electric field and potential. So now coming to the basic concepts. Now let us take a concept. What is that? In an uncharged state, see, we are having a capacitor. A capacitor can be either charged or can be either discharged. So whenever you are taking a capacitor in an uncharged state, charge will be either on one conductor and on the other conductor, the charge will be 0. But when we take during charge, the charge on the first conductor is induced in the second conductor by the polarization, and based on the nature of the polaride we use, that is polar dielectrics we use, so the polarization changes. So now let us move on to the basic concept or principle of capacitor. So what is the principle of capacitor? Principle of capacitor states that the potential acquired by a conductor, is directly proportional to the charge given to it. So the potential acquired by a conductor is directly proportional to the charge given to it, or it is generally the charge is directly proportional to V. So remove the proportionality sign, we get a proportionality constant called as C into V, where C, proportionality constant, is called as the capacitance of a capacitor. So what is C called as? C is called as capacitance of a capacitor. So this is the capacitance of a capacitor. And what is the unit of capacitance of a capacitor? So it is a farad is the SI unit, and other units are millifarad, microfarad, picofarad, or nanofarad also we can use. So let us go with like their relations. So now if I take 1 millifarad, what is 1 millifarad? 10 power minus 3 farad. Here I'll just write 1 millifarad is 10 power minus 3 farad. And 1 micro is 10 power minus 6 farad. And 1 picofarad is 10 power minus 12 farad. So a picofarad is also called as 1 microfarad. A microfarad is also called as a picofarad. Nano is 10 power minus 9 farad. So now listen here, we are having millifarad, we are having microfarad, we are having picofarad and nanofarad. These are all the SI unit based multiples and submultiples. So these are all practical units of capacitance. But apart from that we have other units which we need to know. So that is the CGS unit, which is called as stat farad. So generally we use SI units only. So now let us move on to the concept, like we are studying about the dimensional formula. So what is the dimensional formula? Dimensional formula of capacitance of a capacitor. So now itself we have seen the capacitance is Q by V. So now we'll find out the dimensional formula of it. So now the potential and charge. So charge is current into time. So current is I, time is T. So I got it. But potential, what is potential? When we want to find potential is W by Q again. So work done on a test charge. So that's why potential, I can write it as work done is ml square T power minus 2 by charge. So again charge comes in the numerator IT. So that means I square T square by ml square T power minus 2. So rearranging, we get C as m power minus 1, L power minus 2, T power plus 2 plus 2. So that is T power plus 4 and I square. So this is the dimensional formula for the capacitance of a capacitor. Okay, so now we have studied what is the definition of the electrical capacitor, what is the principle involved. So Q is equal to CV is the principle of a capacitor, and its SI unit is farad, and the different types of units are microfarad, picofarad, nanofarad and millifarad, and this is the dimensional formula. So now just we will move on with factors influencing the capacitance of a capacitor. So what is this? See, like I know the capacitance of a capacitor as C, and this C depends on what factors? So one, it depends on the size and the shape of the conductor, size and shape of the conductor, whether the conductor is a sheet or a square or a circle like that. So that is one of the factor. Then that size and shape itself decides that it depends on area of plates. It depends on the distance between the plates. Now two conductors I have seen now, first conductor, second conductor, and between them some distance of separation is being taken. That distance also affects it. So this is distance between the plates, distance between the plates. So that also affects it. So now factors influencing the capacitance of a capacitor, one is size and shape, area of the plates, distance between the plates, and the dielectric nature is also important. So that is nature of medium used. Okay, so these are the points we have to keep in the mind. So the factors influencing the capacitance of a capacitor. But apart from that, let us study the factors which does not depend on it. Now you take the capacitance of a capacitor. Capacitance of a capacitor. So capacitance of a capacitor does not depend on first one. So now we know C is equal to Q by V. So as the value of the potential difference between the plates increases, proportionately the charge increases or changes. But the capacitance of a capacitor is unaffected. So capacitance of a capacitor is independent of charge developed or stored. And the second one is the potential difference across the plates. Okay, so this is basically the concept on which the capacitance of a capacitor does not depend. Even though the formula implies Q by V, but it does not depend on the charge developed, and it also does not depend on the potential difference across the plates. So now let us move on fastly about how the capacitance of a capacitor is being developed. So now we'll just share with the whiteboard. So in this we will see here, we will see like you take the principle of capacitor. So coming to the principle of capacitors here, So now what we do is we are considering a plate. So there is another plate or a conductor. So now I'm taking like the shape of this. So like this, you take two plates here. So they are separated by some distance. So like we will see like how the charge is developed on them. So but when two conductors are taken, one conductor should be charged. So now let us suppose a positive charge exists on this conductor on either side. A positive charge exists. Now there is some gap and you brought the second conductor close to the first charge. So now they are placed in this way. So due to the effect of polarization, the charges inside it start developing and a negative charge gets developed on the plate closer to the positive charge, whereas a positive charge gets developed on the other side. So now you see that the charge is developed in this way. But we see that a negative charge, because unlike charges attract each other, gets developed close to it. Similarly, the positive charge. But the effect of the charge causes the decrease in the potential. So to balance it, first what we do, we just earth the plate which is on the either end. So this is a plate A, plate B. So first phase, second phase, third phase, fourth phase of all the two plates. So the fourth phase, which is being charged now by induction, is being earthed. So we are connecting to the earth. This is the symbol of the earth. So now all the charge which is existing will get neutralized and this plate gets neutralized. So slowly, due to this effect, this charge vanishes. So finally what happens is the charge on this first phase gets vanished like this. Similarly, the charge on the plate also gets vanished like this, gets vanished. So now you can see that they got vanished, and on the two plates only the positive and negative charge exists inside. So positive charge and a negative charge exists inside. So this is how a capacitor attains or stores charge inside it. So now we have the charge plus Q and minus Q. Now to this we apply some voltage. So let us suppose we are applying voltage to the capacitor. So let us apply that. So now we are applying a voltage V across the plates, positive and negative. So now we are applying. So due to that, a potential difference is set up across them. So now we will analyze or derive a formula. Since we are placing two plates and those plates are parallel to each other, so this is nothing but the basic mathematical deduction for the parallel plate capacitor. So what we do is, now we change the heading as the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. We write now the capacitance of a, so let us write the name, what we are deriving now, the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So why it is called parallel plate? Because two plates are kept parallel to each other in the formation of a capacitor. But what is capacitor? It is nothing but two conductors separated by a dielectric. So what type of dielectric we can have? We can have either a dielectric is an insulating material like air. We can have oil, mica. We can also have paper, tantalum, like the different dielectrics can be used. Okay, so based on their nature of the dielectric constant will be varying between them. So now when you are considering the plates like this, so there will be a positive charge on this and there will be a negative charge on this. So that means the electric field starts moving from positive to negative in this way. So in such case, in the net electric field will be in the direction of positive to negative. But the charge, when it comes out of any conductor, comes out normally, because electric field lines come out normal to the surface. In such case, they interleave like this, and at edge, we can have an effect called edge effect. We can have an effect called edge effect or fringe effect. But those things are neglected when we are doing all the concepts in the capacitor. So we are doing a theoretical version where the effects, edge effects of the this charged conductors is being neglected, and we are only considering the charge to be uniform between the plate A and plate B. These points keep in the mind. So now the electric field lines move from positive to negative as shown. So you can see that they are being moving from positive plate to the negative plate like this. So direction also we will write now. So this is the direction. So because the electric field is existing according to the Gaussian surface, will exist within the plates of the electric field. So now electric field outside will be zero because there is no charge, and net electric field is zero here and zero in this region, But inside, the net electric field will calculate the electric field due to the positive plate plus the electric field due to the negative plate. So let us analyze this in this way, visualize this in this way. So we have, we have a plate. Like this. Okay, this is another plate. So now how we take here, the positive charge is existing, and here a negative charge is existing. So now let us consider the E positive. E positive electric field will move towards positive to negative, but E negative electric field will be actually This is negative charge. So charge will be nothing but the charge for a positive plate will be coming out of it. It will be electric field lines move away from the positive charge, whereas electric field moves towards the negative charge. So in that case, the electric field lines are again for negative charge also same. So hence the net electric field is given by this formula, by the principle of superposition. By the principle of superposition, the net electric field formula is this. But when you are considering this, okay, when you are considering this, now we will find out what is the electric field according to Gauss law. So according to Gauss law, the charge, the electric field existing on a infinite plane sheet. So this is a plane sheet. For a plane sheet, the electric field is given by sigma by 2 epsilon naught, where sigma is surface charge density, and the surface charge density sigma is equal to the total charge existing on the plates by the area of the plates. So now here we have to assume that we are having two parallel plates, and on each plate the area of cross section, whatever the shape may be, it is assumed to be A, and the distance between the plates is assumed to be D. So now what is sigma? Sigma is nothing but equal to Q by A. So thereby the net electric field is due to positive charge, so sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Due to the negative charge, sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So the net electric field here is, sigma 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught, which is nothing but sigma by epsilon naught, which is Q by A epsilon naught. So now we got the electric field. Now you need to calculate the potential. Okay, so now let us see how to calculate the potential. So what is potential difference? Potential difference is nothing but the higher potential minus lower potential. But what is the relation between electric field and potential? So electric potential V here is equal to minus what we have, E dot dr. Okay, so this is the formula for the relation between the potential and electric field. So now what is the change in potential now if you integrate it on both sides also? Okay, so we get the potential change is nothing but, or in general, this is in general formula. So what is potential difference? Potential difference is V final minus V initial is equal to minus E electric field dot dr. But what is dr? So the distance between them, dr. So the distance between the two plates, dr, is nothing but the distance between them, because the total change in the displacement is from initial plate to final plate, and the initial to final plate, what is the change in the distance? D is the change by the charge carriers. So thereby electric field is nothing but Q by A epsilon naught, and the angle between electric field E net and the dr are in the same direction. So hence cos 0 is 1. So the total integral value of the total distance dr is nothing but equal to D. So now V final minus V initial. But V final is where we are starting. There are two plates. This is the V plus. This is V minus. So this is initial. This is final. So what is final? V minus. What is initial? V plus is equal to minus QD by A epsilon naught. But V minus V plus is nothing but minus delta V, minus change in the potential. That is equal to minus QD by A epsilon naught. So minus cancel, rearrange. A epsilon naught by D is equal to Q by delta V on rearranging. But what is the principle of capacitor we have seen? Q by delta V. But Q by delta V is nothing but called as capacitance of a capacitor, which is equal to epsilon naught A by D. So the capacitance of a capacitor is given by A epsilon naught by D. So this is the formula for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, Okay, so now this is one of the parts. So we studied till now what is the definition of capacitance. SI unit of capacitance is farad, and the capacitance principle is Q is equal to CV. But how, and that Q is equal to CV as charge stored on the plates of a capacitor is directly proportional to the potential difference between the plates. So Q by V is always a constant, which is equal to capacitance of a capacitor. So capacitance of a capacitor depends on geometry of the conductors, the nature of the dielectric used, okay, but it is independent of the charge stored to the potential difference applied. So now we are just basically taking a simple logic of capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So in that, the net electric field is given, the potential difference is calculated, and on combining potential difference and electric field between them, we get the formula Q by delta V as A epsilon naught by D, which is nothing but the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Okay, now let us move on to the symbol of a capacitor. So when we speak about a capacitor, usually we have two types of capacitors. One is fixed capacitor, and the other one is variable capacitors. Usually we use a common name gang capacitors also for variable capacitors. So fixed capacitors means whose value of C is fixed, you can't vary. And here to a limit you can vary the value of the C. So the symbol for these type of capacitors are either two lines or like this. So this is the symbol for the fixed capacitor. But coming to the variable capacitor, the symbol for it is, since the capacitance can be varied to some extent, so we show an arrowhead showing that the capacitance of that capacitor is varying. And you can also represent the symbol in this way. So this is about the symbol of a capacitor. We are studying now the symbol of a capacitor. So this is about the symbol of a capacitor. So now we will move on. So we all will be moving on about the nothing but equal to the graphs. Till now we were studying the formulae Q is equal to CV, and we were studying the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Under that, C is equal to epsilon naught A by D, and the electric field being sigma by epsilon naught, which is Q by A epsilon naught. We studied about the potential difference, which is equal to nothing but Q D by A epsilon naught, and thereby we got the capacitance. So these are the points about parallel plate capacitor, and this is the principle. Now we'll go with the graphical approach, graph. So now I'll take a graph. First model is the graph of the C versus Q. Let us take the graph of C versus Q. So now first I'll take y-axis, and also I'll take x-axis. Same, I'll move on with the other things. So first we'll take two models and try with. So 1 second. So now here we are taking capacitance versus Q. Okay, now we have C. Here you have Q. Now how it will vary? Now only we studied capacitance is independent of charge. So capacitance C is independent of charge. So now we take, so it will be a straight line parallel to the charge. Same with potential difference across it. But now we take a graph with V plotted over Q. V plotted over Q. So now when I take this, what is the slope of the graph? Slope is the difference of y coordinate by the difference of x coordinate. So here the slope of the graph is the reciprocal of the capacitance of a capacitor. So in this, what I can do, I can take two lines, straight lines, and A and B. Two values of graphs I have taken. So let A is at an angle of theta A, B is inclined at an angle of theta B with respect to the x-axis. Then slope of any graph is equal to the tangent of the angle made. This is a general concept. So now coming to the observation, we observe that theta A being greater than theta B. So obviously the slope of A is greater than slope of B because the tangent value increases as the angle increases. So now slope, but what is slope? Reciprocal of the capacitance. So the reciprocal of the capacitance of A is greater than the reciprocal of the capacitance of B. So crisscrossing, we get capacitance of B is greater than the capacitance of A. So like this, we can do one model related to the charge versus or potential versus charge. Now the same you reverse and check. Let us check the same by reversing it. So how do we do this is, we take on x-axis the potential and on y-axis the charge. So I'm taking the charge on y-axis and potential on x-axis. So you draw any line. So here the slope of the graph is nothing but Q by B, which is the capacitance of a capacitor. So the slope of the graph is given by this. And even the area you can do, but in the next upcoming we will have it, because now we are not concentrating on that. So this is about the capacitance and the different types of it. So now itself we have seen the charge, that is the capacitance formula is called epsilon naught A by D. If a dielectric is introduced having a dielectric constant epsilon R is equal to K, then the capacitance of the medium introduced will be K epsilon naught A by D. Remember, when the capacitance of the medium is taken, it is K epsilon naught A by D. So this is the point we have to keep in the mind. So now basing on this, we will do some problems related to that. So now first problem is calculate the capacitance, calculate the capacitance of a capacitor having square plates of side 3 centimeters. Calculate the capacitance of a capacitor having a square plate of side 3 centimeters and separated by 10 centimeters distance. So let us do this problem first initially. So now we are considering the capacitance. So what is the formula? C is equal to epsilon naught. So this we have to think in air. Okay, A by D. So epsilon is 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 into area of cross section. So what is the area of a square? Side square. Side is 3 into 10 power minus 2 square. Why minus 2? Because I took in centimeters. I have to convert it into meters. So whole square I am doing. So what is A value now? 9 into 10 power minus 4 by distance between the plates. What is the distance between the plates? 10 centimeters. So it is 0.1 is the distance. So now we'll calculate. C is equal to, now we'll multiply with 9. 9 5, 9 4 so 36, 3, 9 5 45, 46, 47, 48, 9 8 72, 76, 7. 72 plus 7, 79 into 10 power minus 12 minus 4, this minus 1 comes up plus 1. So this is minus 3, minus 12 minus 3 is minus 5. Minus 5. So that is 79.68 into 10 power minus 15 farad. So this is the value of the capacitance of a capacitor. Okay. So now let us do one more problem. So let the charge stored on the plates of a capacitor. So the charge stored on the plates of a capacitor is some 960 microcoulombs for a potential of let us suppose 8 volts is being applied. So now calculate the capacitance of a capacitor. So the formula is the charge stored is 960 into 10 power minus 6 coulombs. Q by V, the formula is. So now the potential applied is 8 volts. So the capacitance of a capacitor is 8 ones are 16, 20, 120. So 1.2 into 10 power minus 4 farad. You want to convert into micro also, it will be nothing but 3 decimal. Now here minus 4 is there. I want in micro means 2 decimal. So it will be 120 microfarad. So this is the capacitance of that capacitor. Okay. So we have the model of sums. How they are giving the model of sums. So first model is Q is equal to CV. In this either Q or V will be given, then you have to find C, or any of the two data will be given. So in a proper units you should take and solve the problems. Second one is C is equal to epsilon naught A by D models they give. But if a dielectric is introduced, what is the K value they ask? Or they ask about the capacitance in the medium. So let us do one problem each on this also. Let me clear. So now find the capacitance of a capacitor in a medium of dielectric constant find the capacitance of a capacitor in a medium of dielectric constant phi such that its capacitance in air is 100 picofarad. This is the question. So let us answer ourselves with the answer here. So now let us move on to the solution. So third problem we are doing. So the solution here is what is the dielectric constant, which is epsilon r or K, which is phi. Next, the capacitance in a medium is given by K epsilon naught A by D. But C in air is nothing but epsilon naught A by D. So that means K times C of air. So thereby C in medium is K. What is K? Phi. C in air is given already as 100 picofarad. So into 100 picofarad. So the answer should be 500 picofarad. So this is the way you have to solve these sums. So this is one model. Second, they'll also ask in some entrance exams, find the dielectric introduced. Find the dielectric introduced. Dielectric is K. So find the dielectric introduced when the capacitance in air is, let us suppose 120 microfarad, and the capacitance in medium is 60 microfarad. It should be more only, not less. So we'll put it as not 60. We'll put some other value. It should be more than 120. So that C medium should be some 960 we'll put. So now let us solve it. So dielectric constant formula is C in medium by C in air. So 960 by 120. Here also microfarad is there. Here also microfarad is there. So dielectric constant is dimensionless, no? So now 0, 0 cancel. So 8 K value or dielectric constant is nothing but equal to K, and that value is equal to, wait. So 8. So this is the point, keep in the mind. So like this is your first session, children. So we had a very basic idea about what is capacitor, how it will store the charge, or it will also store electrostatic energy, but that we did not yet discuss. We only see in that how is the charge, and when you apply a potential difference, how the charge stored will be based on the capacitance of a capacitor, and on what factors the capacitance of a capacitor depends, and what is the basic formula for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So this was the session. Hope we enjoy. So keep learning. Thank you.